Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Something Something Chat Show with your host, as always, Tom Jr. Jackson. And this is After the Movie Review, Spooky October Edition, Series 2, Episode 3. And today's movie is They Live from 1988, John Carpenter's cult classic, They Live. Now, as always, please remember to like, comment, subscribe to this channel and the other channels down below in the description. Check out the Burnett Network, which has a fantastic line of shows, and you can even become a member of the channel for as low as 99 cents. I mean, 99 cents. That's like a buck. And you'll get to twice a month talk with Robert Meyer Burnett in a members only group chat. I should say group Zoom call, and you get your 7 minutes in heaven with Robert Meyer Burnett and ask him any questions, but you can't ask him to read your script. Sorry, that's something he cannot do. Sorry, folks, but them be the rules. Also, also check out Positive Fandom with some great shows as well, hosted by the lovely RM, who does a fantastic job on that channel over there. And check out After the Sequels, a channel that is ran by a wonderful, wonderful person, good friend of mine, the lovely Maria Espino, who is also a, what's the word I'm going to look for here? CEO and president of the Last Gaming Legacy. And yeah, she's fantastic on that channel. Right now, she is in the process of making 3 Star Wars fan films. They're called, the first one is called Star Wars The Chosen One. It's episode 10. It is sanctioned by Lucasfilm, and she has the rights to do it. She's spoken to them all. Matter of fact, on my channel, it's an interview that I've done with her, so you can check it out there. So she's doing 3 animated fan films for Star Wars and a television show. And she does some fantastic work in gaming as well. So check that out. And as well, check out Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, I should say, 8 a.m. Central on Facebook and YouTube. You can watch Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster, the show where you just got to ask yourself, what will Steve say today? And Steve is Ray's co-host. So check that out. It's a fun show. It's funny. Lots of stuff going on. He's got a whole list of shows on there that if you go to morningdisaster.net, you can find out more on how to see those shows as well. So now that we've gotten that house cleaning out of the way, let us go and do the review, shall we? So They Live. In 1988, John Carpenter wrote and directed a film that was not only a commentary on society at the time, but a film that was destined to become a sci-fi horror classic, They Live. Now, this film, after watching it, it could be made today. Everything kept the same. It could be made today. It really could fit into today's society the way it is. It's a timeless movie, and I say timeless. It doesn't reference any, I want to say, major events or dates, but the core of the film, if you watch it, will make you feel, oh, this feels like it could happen today, or this could be some other day. It could be from either the 80s, the 90s, even now. The film They Live stars Roddy Piper, former wrestler, the late great Roddy Piper, Keith David, and Meg Foster, in a film about an everyday nowhere man named Nada, who's a construction worker who finds a special pair of sunglasses that exposes him to seeing the world is not what he thought it was, and the media and the government are so much more than he or anyone thinks. And I don't want to spoil this movie for anyone. If you've seen it, you know. If you haven't seen it, don't look anything up on it. Just go by what I just said here and watch it, and you will see the what do I want to say? You will see the differences in the film. You'll see the similarities to what we're living in today, and what is out there, and what is possibly going on. Watching this film now, it's it is a moment in time, but it's a special movie. It's a great movie. It's one of the classics that John Carpenter has made. And what I like about it is that you you go in thinking it's one thing, but it turns out to be another. And it's a really a commentary on social society in the Reagan era, the 1980s. But I really think it could be about today's era as well. John Carpenter is someone who makes films that make you think, make you scared, make you excited, make you laugh, make you cheer on the the hero in the film or the heroes. Um, Now, in this film, to make the aesthetic of the film seem real, John Carpenter actually brought in real homeless people, and he put them in smaller scenes and made smaller characters and gave them food as well as paychecks, which is a really classy and awesome thing to do at the time. Um, he wanted to give that verisimilitude of how things felt of being in a homeless encampment, of seeing homeless people, of seeing the average everyman, and then seeing society around him the way it is. Roddy Piper was cast in this film because John Carpenter had seen him wrestle in WrestleMania 3 and said, that's the guy I want in my film. And because of that, Roddy Piper really you have to you have to thank Roddy Piper um what's for becoming the first wrestler turned actor. Um, he's the first one to make that um, jump into the acting criteria. And when he made the film, when he was cast in it, Vince McMahon, who ran and owned the WWF, now the WWE, didn't want him to do it. He said, I'll find you another film. I'll find you the same pay, and you can do it in 4 weeks." And Roddy said, "No, I want to do this film with John Carpenter." And Vince didn't want to do that because Vince McMahon is, as we all know, um, greedy and uh, someone who wants to control things. And that's what he did. He really wanted to do that. So because of that incident, it led Roddy Piper to um, leave, to quit the WWF, or as it's now known as the WWE. Um, and the movie made a lot of money. It came in at number one. And when Roddy returned to wrestling, he was an even bigger star. So because of Roddy Piper, you ended up acting with wrestlers in films like Hulk Hogan. Like Hulk Hogan was in Rocky 3. And then you have Captain Lou Albano, who was in a movie called Wise Guys by Brian De Palma with Danny DeVito. And then you have him in the doing the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. And then he did a lot. And then you had Freddie Blassie, who was in My Breakfast with Blassie with Andy Kaufman, and because they were really good friends. And then you have Dwayne the Rock Johnson, who went on to do The Mummy Returns, who went on to do um, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and Jumanji: The Next Level, and then Black Adam, and all these other films. And then you have John Cena, who started off in the Marine, and then went to the Suicide Squad, and then went to um, Peacemaker. And these guys are all wrestlers turned actors, thanks to Roddy Piper. The film opens at number one, but then disappeared very quickly from the theaters. Kurt Russell was written. The movie was written for Kurt Russell, and then John Carpenter thought about it and said, I've already worked with Kurt in Elvis, Escape from New York, The Thing, and Big Trouble in Little China. So he thought he'd give someone else a chance, and that's where Roddy Piper came in. And I don't know if the movie would have been different with Kurt Russell as the main lead, but I do know that Roddy Piper just makes the movie. There's a fight sequence in the film between Roddy Piper and Keith David that was supposed to be like 2 minutes, but they rehearsed it, and then Roddy said, "Look, we're going to be here all day if we pretend to fight." So they really went for the groin and face as they were punching each other. So the fight lasted about 5.5, 6 minutes in the film, and John Carpenter just filmed it all. So that is cool. And John Carpenter, to this day, is still fascinated that the film opened at number one at the box office. Let's see here. I'm looking at my other notes. Roddy Piper recalled it was being uncomfortably easy getting into the mindset of a homeless person. He said, I lived on the street myself, so it didn't take long to get that feeling of what's going on. Everybody's in their own little life, and they think that's it, and nobody's helping no one, which probably that's what every homeless person thinks, that, no one's going to help me. What about me? And it really goes to show that we still have a long way to go with helping the homeless. I do think that this film was also a statement on the homeless problem at that time, and it probably could still be one at this time as well. Let's see here. So, originally scheduled for an October 21st, 1988 release date, the film was moved to November 4th in order to avoid competition with Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. Interestingly, John Carpenter had been producer, co-writer of the first three Halloween films and director of the first. But Halloween 4 was the first in the series made entirely without his involvement. Another reason to move the release was to capitalize on the November 8th presidential election in tandem with the film's social commentary. And there is a big social commentary about the government in the film as well. So you'll see that watching it. The social commentary in this film, as I stated many, many times, is one of something that, even though it was relevant then, it's still relevant today. So you're really looking at a relatable person in a film. Now, the only person in the film to get a first and last name in the film was the character of Holly Thompson, played by Meg Foster. Who has you'll know who Meg Foster is. She has those beautiful, sober green eyes. I believe she was Evil Lynn in the live action He-Man film. I could be wrong on that. Now, on an episode of Monster Vision in 1997, Roddy Piper mentioned that John Carpenter had wanted him to discuss the film's political subtext, which was critical of Reaganomics, while doing promotion for the film. However, due to being in the United States on a green card, Roddy Piper felt it wasn't his place to discuss American politics, because Roddy Piper was Canadian. He noticed that he also noted he'd rather liked President Reagan, but thus didn't really agree with the film's politics, so he would shy away from talking about it while promoting the film. So and that's fine, and like I say, not everyone is going to agree with something that you like. Not everyone is going to like what you like, and that's fine. And no one's gonna disagree. We're allowed to disagree. The thing that I don't like is people who say, I don't like this because blah blah blah, and it's crap and you shouldn't watch it. And there are people that do that, and there are people that are negative about things. And that, to me, is wrong. If you dislike a film, fine. But don't make your opinion be the be all end all of films. That's why, when I say, when you watch my reviews, it's my opinion. You can take it, you can leave it, you can like it, you don't have to like it. It's okay. Really, it's okay, folks. You don't have to always agree with me. And people go, well, you look at everything positive. Yeah, because everybody else is negative out there. And I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be known for doing negative reviews. If I don't like something, I won't talk about it. Plain and simple. I mean, if you want to know what I don't like, I could tell you. I didn't like Joker. I didn't like that film because it didn't feel like a Joker film. It felt more like it was a rehash, not a rehash, but a combination of Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. And the main character didn't have to be Joker. It could have been any guy. It could have been anyone just as a clown. The movie could have been called Clown for all you know. And it still would have worked on that level, but it didn't feel like a Joker film. And if you ask me, well, what is a Joker film? I don't know. But it was disturbing, and it was not a film that left you on the end of it going, yeah, this is great. I got to watch this again. But, saying that, I should probably at some point revisit that film and see if my feelings are still the same on it at some point. And maybe I might do that. but some things like that, it. I mean, I think Todd Phillips made a nice film. It's just that it wasn't my cup of tea, plain simple. Um, let's see here. Um, I'm just seeing here. So John Carpenter had final cut in the film. So what you see in They Live, it is uh, the director's cut of They Live. It is his cut of the film. Um, and Randy the Macho Man Savage. He's another one who became a bit of a film actor who was in the first Tobey Maguire. Yes, the first Tobey Maguire um, Spider-Man film. And Randy the Macho Man Savage says his favorite line in the film was, and I quote, "Life's a bitch, and she's back in heat." Can't ask for anything more than that, my friend. You can't ask for anything more than that. The film references climate change, which was known to scientists at the time, although it was nowhere as near as well understood by the general public as it became in the following century. So, climate change was known. It was sort of being slowly introduced into um, society as we know it. Um, The mention of climate change is on the hackers' television broadcast shown during the meeting of the uh, villains of the film. Uh, Climate change is caused by something in the film, so it is alluded to it. But there are conspiracies in this film, and it's really cool. John Carpenter had been a wrestling fan since he was a kid, and even wrote for a column for The Ring magazine. The Ring is a wrestling magazine. I don't know if they're still around. They probably are, but I don't think I've seen a wrestling magazine in, gosh, almost 15, 16 years, something like that. So yeah. Um, the film subject of so the film became the subject of many neo-Nazi postings, which claimed that the film's uh, bad guys were actually meant to be Jews who was subverting white society while taking over the world, and that John Carpenter made a lengthy, angry public. John Carpenter made a lengthy, angry state and public statement in the early 2017s, stating that this theory was bigoted garbage and with no truth and no connections to his idea for the film. So, film is subjective, my friends. It is very subjective, and art is subjective. You can look at a picture and see one thing in it, and I could look at a picture and see uh, something else in it. So yeah, there's a lot um, going on. So I guess I guess that's all we're going to talk about today. I want to thank you all for joining me. Thank you for watching this. As you know, this is my October season 2 of the Spooky October edition of the films. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to my channel down below. Oh, not down there, but down in the description box. Leave a comment if you've seen They Live and what you think of it, and as well as yeah, tell me what you think of They Live. Do you like it? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Do you agree with me that it could be made today and still have the same impact that it had on society back then? Wait, do you think it would still have the same impact that it had on society then that it would have now? Let me know. And as always, folks, please remember to check out all the playlists on my channel so you can watch whatever you want to watch. And if you want to go through them all. As I said, this is Spooky October Edition, Season 2 of my After the Movie reviews. And since this is episode 3, we have 10 more episodes to go. So I hope you enjoy those as well. There'll be 13. 13 is a very spooky number, so I hope you watch them and you enjoy them. And if you don't enjoy them, that's fine with me. I completely understand. So, as we say in the business, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, folks, please remember, we are all good people. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.